Okay, so today I thought we would do something a little different. I promised you that I was going to start giving you free tools to use to go through your everyday life and to help on the world stage and all of that. Well, today has nothing to do with like earth changes or anything. This is about love languages and what not to do if you're interested in any particular one of the 12 zodiac signs. So, in no particular order, I'm going to begin with Sagittarius. If you are interested in a Sagittarius and you're wanting to date them, do not speak to them in a condescending tone. That's going to tick them off right away. Do not make them feel like you have other things that you could do. Don't play coy. They need it straight from your mouth. They need to know that you're interested in them. And if you're playing coy or you're too busy and you miss an appointment or a phone call or whatever, that's going to be your mark and they're done with you because they're very quick, much like Capricorns are very quick to be done with you. Okay? So you don't want to do those things. You don't want to make them feel like you're superior to them either. They want to feel like you're equal. At best, they want to be your equal. They do not want you to act like they are beneath you at anything. Doesn't matter if it's cooking or cleaning or singing or anything. They don't want you to act like you're better than them, period. So don't do those things if you're interested in a Sagittarius. Now, if you're interested in a Scorpio, okay, so Scorpios are a little bit complicated, but not. They're actually quite easygoing, quite forgiving, quite loving, quite tender-hearted. So if you continue to take advantage of that kindness in them, or if you continue to hurt their feelings, and they do have very tender feelings. So if you hurt their feelings multiple times, they're going to remember that. It's like they've got a little tally register in their brain, and they tally it up. And after so many times, they're going to get you with their tail. And you won't even see that shit coming. They'll just get you. They'll just lash out at you. Okay, so you don't want to do anything like that. You want to be very tender with their heart. Be kind to them. Be honest with them. Um, yeah, that's really the main thing with them. They need you to be kind and tender and supportive and understanding, you know, fair and balanced in the emotions. So, moving on. Libra. For Libra, they need for things to be balanced. They need it to feel justified. They need it to feel fair, equal give and take. You know, if I buy you dinner one night, you should buy me dinner the next. Whatever. They need that balance. Um, they don't like to feel like you're taking advantage of them. And that's not to say that they're not overly generous because they are. But they need to feel like they can trust you and that that balance is there. And then they're okay with tipping their scale and giving more. So if you want to date a Libra, you have to come at them square and honest and fair, right? In all ways. Virgos. Now, Virgos should be simple, but they're really not. Um, they're the earthiest of earth signs, and they're like the mother of the harvest. But they're not really satisfied very easily. Um, they're very picky, very particular, very analytical, and so they're going to go over and over and over and over and over things in their head 1,000 billion zillion times and already see every possible outcome to any one scenario before you even act. So they're already in a position of defense. They're already in a position of being on guard. So with Virgos, again, much like the Capricorn, you have to really earn their trust. And their trust is a selfish one. It's a lot of times it can be a one-sided one until they are ready to let you in. So it's more about them instead of you. That balance is not going to be there at first. You need to understand that, see that up front. They're going to need to make sure that you're meeting their needs, and then they are happy for meeting yours because they need you to need them. That's their big thing. They need people to need them. So if you're not needy and you're very strong and independent, you're likely not going to get very far with a Virgo. It's just the way it is. Because they want to be in control of things, and they want to be the guiding light in the partnership. Um, they don't really do equal very well, you know. So if you're someone that's more okay with handing over some of the reins, extra of the reins, whatever, then Virgo's a good match for you. Moving on now to Leo. If you want to date a Leo, the things that you do not do is take their spotlight away from them. If they're in the spotlight, let them shine because they need that. They need that little bit of oomph for them. A lot of people's misunderstand. I said people's. A lot of people misunderstand Leos, thinking that they're very proud and very bold and very arrogant, and egotistical, and all those things because they will enjoy that moment in the spotlight, but they're actually quite doubting of their self. They don't believe in their self the way that they perceive that they do to other people. Um, and until they step into that, they need you to nurture them. They need you to allow them to have their spotlight when it's their time. Um, and they also are passionate and boisterous. So um, for you to be over that for them, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to balance it. So, if you're kind of a high wired type person, you need to bring that down to their level some so that they can feel comfortable in your energy. Um, Same thing goes for if you're a really low vibe and chill, extra super chill person, you're probably not going to mesh with them too well because they're up there in that middle range, where they're like chugging along at an okay pace. And if you're like lagging behind taking a nap all the time, you're going to bore your Leo to death, right? Because they like to do things. They like to be active. They like to communicate. So you got to do that with them. Now, moving on to Cancer. I can speak from personal experience because I am a Cancerian, but I know a crap ton of Cancerian people, probably more Cancerians than anybody. Um, and that's the honest truth. I'd never really even thought about that till just now. But if you want to date a Cancer, the things that you don't do, you don't boss them around. You don't say rude, condescending things to them. You don't come at them with sarcasm and cheap shots and um, giving them a parameter to be in because the Cancerian likes to be free. And when they want to be chill, they want to be chill. They don't want to be pushed to be something else. And when they're out there, out of their shell, being vibrant, being fun, they don't want you trying to dampen that and put a lid on it. You got to let them go with their flow. They're the strongest of the water signs. They're the cardinal water sign. And you have got to let them go by their own beat and be supportive of that, you know? Um, if you want to be with a Cancerian, you should not be someone who's jealous or trying to take up all their time. You should be able to allow them their own space because they need their quiet time alone. And if they don't get it, they'll fight for it. That's a core thing in us. We need our solitary time once in a while. We love being around people. We love family. We love being the life of the party. But once in a while, we like to just go in our little shell, in our cozy little hole, and just be alone. We like being alone. Ain't got nothing to do with anybody. And if you can't deal with that, then you can't deal with a Cancerian. At least if they're a strong Cancerian and they honor themselves. You know, same goes with any of them. I'm speaking on the basis that everyone's honoring who they are and what their love language is, right? So yeah, if you want to date a Cancerian, don't be trying to boss them around or be pushy or overly aggressive. Trust me, if they want you, they will let you know. You don't have to be overly aggressive. And just, you know, from my own personal thing, listen, if you're wanting to date me, I don't want to see pictures of your willy. I don't want you asking me how big my boobs are and if they're real because they're big. I don't want that kind of talk. You want to stimulate me? You want to get me excited? Talk to me about intelligence shit because I got a big brain, not just a big heart and big boobs. I want to talk about real shit, stuff that matters, you know? Not sports, not what you can do with your thing. I don't want to talk like that. Not that I don't like doing those things, but that ain't how you talk to a lady. And I'm a lady. So if you want to date me, you better step up to the plate and do it right. I'm old school, and I'm tired of dumb shit. Now, moving on, Gemini. If you want to date a Gemini, you have got to be willing to be adventurous, fly by the seat of your pants, go do things at the drop of a hat, and have fun. And let them have fun. You know, you got to let them have fun. Because if they're not having fun, they're going to get bored with your ass and they're going to find somebody new. They need somebody that's going to treat them tender and loving, but also knows how to get dirty and adventurous. You know, like get in the mud. They like to be boots on the ground. So if you can't hang out with them and keep up with them, they're going to leave you behind. It's as simple as that. Now, Tauruses. If you're interested in dating a Taurus, first and foremost, home and family has to be of importance to you because it's very vitally important to them. Now, they also need for you to be okay with the fact that they're going to be a workaholic to take care and provide for their family. That's who they are. They need to stay busy. If they're not staying busy, they don't feel like they're doing enough. It's just in their nature. It has nothing to do with you. If you take it personal, if you get jealous, if you cry about it, if you fight about it, they're going to be done with you. They're going to drop you like a bad habit because they ain't got time for it. They're very firm in that. That's who they are. That's who they need to be. And you can't change that. They're the bull for a reason. They're not budging. So you got to be able to understand who they are and allow them to be who they are. Now, Aries. Aries are a lot like a Gemini in the sense that they want to go and do and have fun and be spontaneous. So if you don't have the freedom and availability to do those things, they're going to get bored with you too. And for goodness sakes, don't try to challenge their mind and do an over intellect kind of thing on them because they are not going to allow anybody to outwit them, outsmart them, or outtalk them. In their opinion, they are the wittiest and most intelligent, and they're usually right. In their mind, they're usually right. So, um, anyone who challenges that, they may enjoy the challenge, but they're already putting that little note in the back of their head that you're confrontational. And they don't like that. They don't like to be confronted about things. So, again, that's someone that you would need to let them take the reins and be the leader and be the more mature, more intelligent, or more spontaneous one in the relationship, whatever the case may be, right? Um, Pisces. So Pisces are, to me, they're like the bards of the zodiac, right? They're the ones that can be very aloof and free spirited and daydreamy and they love artistic stuff. So they love poetry, they love um, classical music, they love plays, they love pretty much any kind of subject of the arts, right? Because they're very whimsical. Um, they probably love painting or playing music or singing or dancing or something to express themselves in some type of artistic way. And if you are not in tune with that, if you're not able to support them in that, encourage them in that, they too are going to get bored with you and be done with you, you know. And I mean, it's going to take a little longer for them because they are a water sign, so they get the emotional connection there, but they will eventually stray away from you because they're going to be seeking someone that uplifts them, not makes it feel like a bummer, man. Right. Um, so yeah. And then who's next? Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, if you want to date an Aquarian, first of all, they seem quite secretive. And if you question that, then they're going to seem even more sketchy to you. And it's going to make you question things more. And then before you know it, you're arguing all the time and you're not going to be around them because they're going to be done with it. Now, they still like you, they just don't like your confrontational attitude. So they're probably going to come back around time and again and again and again to revisit this. But as long as you continue to be confrontational with them, they'll continue to leave because they don't like confrontation and they don't like being questioned about their whereabouts and what they're doing and who they're talking to and all those things because they have this, much like Cancerians, a very private side to them. And it isn't necessarily that they're doing anything wrong at all. I mean, yeah, some of them could be, but it's not because they're an Aquarius. Um, it's just in the Aquarian nature to want to be more private. So if you're needing an itinerary of everything that they're doing and everyone they're speaking to, then they're going to seem defensive to you and they're going to seem even more secretive and sketchy, even though they're not. They're just trying to preserve that basic instinct of nature that's within them. And you're going to misread it if you don't understand that about them. Um, they also like to talk a lot. So um, either you need to have the gift of gab or you need to have the gift of patience and a good ear and just let them talk because they like to talk a lot. And if you're telling them that they talk too much, then that's going to hurt their feelings. And then that's also going to make them shut down and be more sketchy and want to be away from you more often and do things somewhere else. So that's who they are. Now, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorns are all about their image and keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. So if you want to date someone who has the finer things in life or tries to live the finer life um, and is all about appearance and ego and not in a bad way necessarily, just they're the most strong. They're the strongest of the zodiacs of outward image, how they look to other people. It just deeply matters to them. There's no fault in that. There's no shame in that. That's just who they are. They really care deeply about how they are perceived by other people. And so they always want to be perceived in a good light. So if you're questioning them in front of other people, or if you're um, speaking of them in a negative way to anyone, that's going to deeply affect them because um, they want to be very private as well and not air their dirty laundry, so to speak. Yeah, they make mistakes, but they don't want other people to know. It's just who they are. So if you can't be loyal to the connection and not um, speak out about their faults to other people, then that's going to greatly affect them, and then they're going to become quite angry with you. Also, another thing is they're very hard to trust, to earn trust from. Um, so, I mean, like you could literally be with a Capricorn person for years before they finally decide that they can trust you. Um, they want you to trust them right away, but they just have a very hard time trusting others. And so you need to be patient with them. And if you don't know how to be patient with them and reassuring to them that you are trustworthy and that you are keeping to your word or whatever, then it's not going to work out because at every turn, they're constantly analyzing. And if they see anything that looks slightly sketchy, they're going to be calling you out on it. They're going to be suspicious of you on it. It's going to make them have resentment and um, angry feelings toward you, which is then going to lead them to being confrontational with you. And it's just not going to be very good at all. So if you want to date a Capricorn, you got to really watch your P's and Q's and be okay with them being aggressive and bullheaded or pushy with what they want rather versus what you want because they're not real flexible with any of that. Um, And yeah, I mean, if you're going to be with a Capricorn person, honestly, you have to be willing to give up all of what you are and just kind of mesh into who they are in their world because that's what they expect from people. They've already built their image a certain way. They want to leave it that way, and they don't want that tarnished in any way, shape, or form. So you have to be able to mesh with them if you're going to date them. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's, from my experience, the majority of Capricorns, that's who they are. They need that to be that way. So if you're not willing to accept that, then you're not the right match for them. And so this has been your crash course on how to understand the other 11 zodiac signs. And if you're interested in dating them, what not to be doing. Peace out. See you later.